Respect your elders.
Let me buy you.
Catchphrase.
I can
Catchphrase.
I'm not a miracle worker. Well, someone tried.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Okay, where is everyone?
Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei.
Okay, first name and Chew, both of you need to be on this Ashe instead of playing low. Because right now you're just pressuring out the tanks, who's just gonna get a pocket from the BAP and the Mercy, compared to the Ashe, which is more vulnerable than a tank. Yep, don't peek this, rotate that way, good. Maddie, be careful next time flying across that. Ashe could have one-shot you easy.
Time to raise my APM.
Okay, Gek, without a pocket, you need to be playing safe here. Once Mercy comes to you, then you can be a little bit more aggressive. Again, we are not going to bust this open unless Gek gets the space, right? Only way he gets space if the Ashe is pressured. So either Naeem and Chew, both of you dive Ashe, or basically with the comp that we're running, the win condition is take out the Ashe, or at least pressure her enough that she won't be able to come out, right? The rest of their comp is kind of meaningless afterwards. Obviously Chase just pressures the Pharah, make sure she doesn't overly peak, but other than that, the tanks really won't do much, and the BAP won't do a whole hell of a lot, right? So for the most part, Discord target probably should be on the Ashe, just because she's the win condition in order for us to take first. So again, that means tanks need to be diving her. Discord needs to be on her. Gek, if you can, spam her safely.
Sterben nicht. Justice reigns from above.
Good barrage sight lines. We didn't need to use High Noon there, but it's fine. I mean, it's kind of dog shit anyway. Why on God's earth did you even know?
Helden sterben nicht. You can all just take it easy.
Okay, let's rewatch this just to explain something. So at the moment, they're down their BAP. Let everything render. Okay. Right now we're +1.
Helden sterben nicht.
Plus 0.5 because Chew's mech'd. Okay, +1, +2, +3, +2.
Do something! Dein Schutzengel ist da. Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei.
Okay, obviously that was a dumb move. With 4 people left, we can't really expect to burn the Bob that quick. We need to try to pressure out the Mercy as soon as possible, so just keep as much pressure while she's Valking, so that includes throwing Discord on her and shooting her when she tries to fly close, you know? Obviously this is kind of a throw trying to go in like that. I mean, as you can see, Chase dies. Pharah dies. Yep. Okay, and then Yumi went in too early. Nobody was really set up to capitalize on what you were doing. Because once you pop mines here, you want what we want to do is you're popping mines right here, right? So that's going to cover most of the point relatively, but also we have our Zen back here, our Ashe right here, D.Va's right there, Pockets not even close yet. We need to wait until everyone is at least close enough to follow up in order to throw ults out like this. Neem, you're feeding. Big feed. Okay, Chu, you need to be making sure you're spy checking and also trying to sit close to Laz, so in case this happens. Like, how are we letting them get away with murder like this? This is just bad. They had 2 people when all of us were right here. Like, this should not have happened. Yep, this is just a wash. Go next. Okay, yeah, I was about to say, instead of going left side, stick to the right side. For the most part, where teams will rotate on this map is if once we get them to point, naturally, there's 2 places that either supports or squishies are going to go. They're either going to come in here, going to come up top, or they're going to come over here. Mainly as these 2 doors if they don't have mobility, right? Most of the time, I would say a lot of people tend to stick over here. If we start pressuring them in and you're already over here, this is going to be an easy kill for you. Okay. Guess that's it for that one. Okay. So I'm assuming that we got full held on first. A couple of different reasons, but yeah, it's kind of a clusterfuck all over.
Ready for battle. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Okay, we are not rotating fast enough. Gek, I don't know why you're all the way over there in no man's land. Laz, honestly, at this point, just forget the Rhine and keep rotating back to an attacker's POV instead of just staying here and staying there. Yeah, if you die here, you just killed yourself. Okay, don't even need to really watch this. Actually, no, we're playing all the way through. Never mind. Chu, yeah, at this point, just try to get out. That was a weird interaction, but alright.
This will heal. Allow me to repair the damage.
Okay, name spinning the winning here isn't doing much for you. Okay, so that's alright.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Okay, we also need to be swapping off the Lucio at this point. Yes, I know we're at 67 for ult, but Lucio's not going to do much with this dive in particular. Lucio's mainly used in dive for a Winston, not necessarily a Ball, just because Ball has that easier and faster mobility than Winston does. At this point, you're just going to be trying to pocket chase. So at that point, either Brig or Mercy. But since they are running the rush, I would suggest Mercy instead. Okay, now I suggest the Brig. Okay, and now that their comp has changed, the win condition is focusing down that Widow first. Chase isn't going to be taking any duels with the Widow, or shouldn't be winning any duels with the Widow on, the perfect Overwatch, but because the Widow should be winning that duel every time. So either we need to start focusing the Widow, or Chase needs to swap the Widow himself. Gek, good flank. Okay, when Gek goes in like that, that's when we need to go. That Mercy was half. If our dive would have committed in when he did that, that would have been perfect. That would be the perfect pint if we were to actually follow through with that. Mercy's already half, coming through here. We jump in as soon as Gek calls it, says, "Hey, I'm about to go into the back line. We need to go then." Okay, that's when we need to go. In order for this dive to work, everyone needs to be attacking the same person at the same time, and it has to be quick. Right now, we're not playing quick. So Gek, when you go on a flank like that, make sure you're calling when to come out. And whoever's up here and looking down, so this would be at this point Naeem, or if Chu is over here, Maddie, whatever, needs to be looking for a target and saying, "Hey, we need to dive this target. This target is out in the open, has no cooldowns, is out of position," that kind of thing. And when that happens, that's when we go for the pints. Gek comes from behind, starts burning down someone. In this case, it was the Mercy. Dive follows through. We kill the Mercy. Mercy's dead. We go from there.
You better get out of the way.
Chu, I'd say. Oh, you're nanoed.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Good picks. Good. Maddie, anytime they come up like that to contest high ground, make sure you're looking at saving Boop for that specific reason. Pick. Okay, again, we're just we're basically just staying up here waiting for them to jump onto us. That's not how this works. We need to be going in, and Gek has the right idea. Like, none of us are being aggressive here. He's the one that's actually, playing this comp correctly, while the rest of us are just sitting up here. Laz and Chase, for the most part, when Gek is in position, is the only people that really should be up here. Everyone else should be jumping down, and then Chu jumping back up when you need to for appeal. And again, Gek just used recalled. He is more likely to die now than he was before. We need to be pushing in and helping him to make sure he can get out.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Oh, that's an unlucky hack. Yeah, we need to use beat and then swap over to Brig instantly. Okay, these are reversed right now. Naeem, you should be on cart, and Gek, you should be going after him. Pathing wise, if you were to go after the Widow, either you're dropping down and you're coming at her from this way, or you're going underground and then coming up around that way underneath her. Yeah, Naeem, you should be on point here, not Gek.
Apagando las luces. I might need to
Good beat.
Walil Uwidik. I am unstoppable.
What? How'd that not hit the Sombra? That's kind of stupid. Kill. Okay.
Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei. Boosters engaged.
Yeah, okay, yeah, at this point I'd say Maddie go swap to Brig. I'm pretty sure you're about to do that. Or possibly going to Mercy. One of the two, but okay, good. Brig's better here. Okay, Laz, you need to be pushed up with the rest of the team, not just sitting back here. Especially if we're going to hold this far up. And especially against a hit scan, you're not going to want to stay up there, so that position's kind of mute at this point. That position's good for like attacking and trying to get a sneaky nade out once they come through the door. Okay, Chu, instead of just spamming out around, make sure you're... Because at this point, the only thing that you're really worried about is looking around for the Sombra. So make sure you're trying to put a little bit of thought into where she might possibly be, and start spamming those areas. Good pick. Fat nade.
Helden sterben nicht. Walil Uwidik.
Okay, they nano diva. This should force us to kite back. Name's low. Name's probably gonna die. Maddie, you need to either bash or whip shot the tanks back, and just kind of pray he lives. Good DM.
Time to raise my APM.
Bit unlucky, but okay, Maddie, you rotated the wrong way. You needed to keep kiting back, not coming that way.
It's high noon. Draw.
Chase, that play wasn't worth it enough. You only got the one kill, and now you're about to die. If you get a second trade, it was worth it, but okay, Gek's kind of farming, so it's okay.
Routing power to forward barrier.
Nice, good pick on the Sombra.
Nerf this.
I'm surprised you lived.
I'll show them. Game on.
30 seconds remaining.
Routing power to forward barrier. Booster on. No. Hiya.
10 seconds
Might as well say nobody gets a touch. Nice name. Good move. Nice. Good boop on the ball too. I'm assuming we finished out the rest of that map. Where the cart stayed. Okay.
Industries. Ready for battle.
Ah, good. Good. No. No, 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 no. Okay. No. Still no. Still no. Okay. So, one, I'm really excited about this because I'm excited to teach this in general. This is a great comp, and it is the meta, except without the Mercian on the Brig instead. But like I said, overall, this is a really fun comp, and yeah, I'm excited to explain it.
Incoming in 30 seconds.
I'm okay with the Sombra if we are going to continue to run it, but I think I'd prefer the Echo more here. Because the reason you would swap to a Sombra, it wouldn't be the Echo, it would be more the Tracer that needs to. And so basically there's going to be two different styles of play that we want to go for. Obviously it's going to be either being more aggressive or it's going to be more passive. So the difference between the two is the substitutions that we make for it. So in this sense, it would be subbing out the Ana for a Zen, and then swapping over to a Sombra with an Echo. Sorry, that's the aggressive one. The more passive one is what we're running now, except with an Echo instead of a Tracer. So I'll run down what each person should be doing in this comp. So we'll start from left to right. Laz, if you're on Ana, for the most part, you're looking to pocket the tanks. At least in general job, you're looking to pocket tanks in this situation. If you're on Zen, you're looking to keep orb on your DPS, so either your Tracer or your Echo. And make sure you're calling out Discord. This is the very simplistic version of what you're supposed to be doing on Zen. At least heal priority, that kind of thing. Maddie, either way, for the most part, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be sitting on Laz for most of the time, or you're going to be at least... So either you're going to be bodyguard or you're going to be kind of like middleman. So what I mean by that is, let's say red and blue arrows on this side is where Laz is. Start a fight, you're bodyguard. So you're going to be, you're sitting on him the entire time until we get to about the mid-fight when Chu is high charge and he's ready to go aggressive, right? So at that point, let's say again, Laz is the lines, Chu is the lamppost, you're going to be basically right in the middle. So you're close enough to still proc Inspire when you're close enough, but you're also close enough to be able to peel for Laz if he needs it. So that's how you're playing. When it comes to heals, or at least for armor packs, if we have a Zen, you're looking to throw armor at the packs at the tanks, right? If you are running an Ana, you're looking to pack the DPS. So when we get in the mid fight, once we have either the Zen or the Ana, the main heals switch from Laz to Brig, because Brig is going to be at least in the mid fight, because she's going to constantly be having Inspire up, so she'll be able to heal everyone around her, right? Not just target focus like Zen and Ana are. Tusk, you got a lot of jobs. I'll explain it to you. Probably more individually. Chu, your job is to bubble Tusk. So there's kind of 3 stages of how you initiate with this. This is important for both of you. How you initiate is you set up a spot where Tusk doesn't leap in. Okay? He needs to save his CDs for getting out. his jump CD if you're getting out. So how this happens, let's say enemies coming down this way, how we should be positioned is Tusk is going to be on this high ground, so you can look on either side, right? Tusk is going to be on the high ground. Once they're at where he wants them to be, he drops down, starts getting the cleave damage through. Once his armor is chipped off, that's when we get the bubble from Chu. Chu gets the bubble, Chu puts the bubble on Tusk, bubble breaks, Chu gets charged from it, and then Tusk uses his bubble, stays in the fight a little bit longer, bubble dances. When he needs to get out, that's when he uses his jump CD to get out. And preferably jump back on high ground. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So basically, Chu, for your bubble usage, that's what you're supposed to do. Now, an important thing is to not use your bubbles at the same time, because most of the time, currently, I would say, Echo will most likely be played on the other team, at least for the most part. Basically, that is your own sense of peel, right? So a lot of teams are running dives, so I guess this can apply to any other DPS as well. So they're going to look to do chip damage onto you, and you saving that bubble is a way to peel for yourself. If they throw stickies on you and try to beam, you pop that bubble, their dive in just completely gets negated, because you'd be potentially be a focus target, right? So at least that's how first bubbles should be used, is on the Tusk, right? As we get along, bubble CDs are going to come back for you, at least ally CDs. When you do that, you're just trying to look around. Any bubble you have, you want to make sure, at least after that point, it's for you to enable your DPS, enable Tusk, so on and so forth. Just make sure every bubble you have is with meaning, not just a bubble to throw it out there, right? So to get charge, because if you're facing a good team, they're not going to shoot bubbles, right? They don't want to give the Zarya charge, increase her strength, yada, yada, yada. Shit, I forgot this. Yeah, so for your charge bubbles, how you're going to get charge is mainly for your personal bubble, right? Because against a good team, they're not going to shoot the allied bubble when he comes in. That's mainly your self bubble is when you'll be able to, one, easier to predict damage coming in onto you, and be able to absorb that with the bubble. You get extra charge from that. It's easier to do that instead of kind of, in a sense, guessing the damage that's going to come in on your ally bubble. So I hope that makes sense. Now, for play-wise, I guess I'll run that afterwards. So Chase, for the most part, the two heroes that you will most likely be playing will either be Tracer, Kree, potentially Sombra if we need to run it. So I can walk you through how you're supposed to play with those three. So Tracer, for the most part, you're going to look for flanks, or controlling lanes, right? So setting up on a point like this, where for the most part you should either be looking to hold over here to control this entire flank, plus a little bit over here, or likewise on the other side, on this left side, you're playing in here, looking to control this flank, anyone that comes through this way, top, etc., right? So that's at least the start of what you're supposed to do on Tracer. After that, once we're ready to go aggressive, that's when you need to look for a flank to pinch in onto someone. So like I said, same analogy here when we go for the bubble. Tusk should be up here. He drops down. Once we drop down, that's when you should be coming from one of these angles, either here, that door, coming around back this way, right? And what you're doing is either you're going to be putting pressure onto the back line, or you're going to be putting pressure onto whoever, Tusk, and for the most part, Sunless is going to be in for Echo, or whoever Sunless is focusing. Kree, for the most part, you're going to be sticking back with your team, sticking back with your backline. When I say backline, obviously that includes supports, but that also includes Chu. So yeah, hope your two roles in that make sense. Obviously, this is bare bones for each role, but I can try to explain it one-on-one, or a little bit more in depth once I've kind of studied the comp a bit more. So, Sunless, your job again, for the most part, you're either going to be on Sombra or you're going to be on Echo. Those are basically the two staples in this comp, right? I guess we'll start with Echo. For Echo, again, yours and the Tracer playstyle, so Echo Tracer playstyle, are very similar, right? They're holding lanes, and they're focusing the same target when Tusk goes in. You and Chase are doing the same thing when he's on Tracer, you're on Echo, right? So dive comes through. Let's say Chase comes from this left side. You are, let's say, fucking up here or something, right? You're poking down someone from up here. The dive all goes in one area, right here, right? So this is where Sunless, you peek out, you burn someone down that's over here. But the second job that you have is a more defensive way, right? So for the most part, you want to try to play in between on a side angle, but close enough that where your supports are going to be able to see you, and you can see them, right? So let's say with the comp that they're running, they're going to try to dive the backline. When that happens, the Winston's going to come in. What you should try to do, or if it's a hard dive and they're coming in, what you should try to do is fly out towards them, and you're going to try to burn down the Winston with stickies, with beam, primary, etc., right? If he places bubble, feel free. Breaking that bubble is very important, because once it's broken, sight lines are opened up for our Ana and for other damage to come in through onto the dive that they just committed. So that kind of overall, that is bare bones of how the comp is should be played. Now, the next thing that we need to talk about is where we should be holding, right? This is more map specific than it is for just a broad sense. But in a broad sense, how it should be is Tusk is in a position that he can just drop down, not using his jump CD. He just drops down, does his tase damage, and then uses his CD to get out. So he needs to be in a position where he's set up for that. When we go aggressive, so for the attack version of this comp, not necessarily attack defend, but I'm just using it as when we go aggressive. So for the attack portion of this comp, Tusk needs to be somewhere where he jumps down, uses CDs to get out. How else we should be playing is this is more for Chase, I guess, than you, Sunless, but Chase should be on a flank looking for something good once we go in. Sunless should be, if you can, try to play a different angle than the Tracer, so that it's kind of pinching in all directions and not just where the Winston is, and Winston and the bulk of the team is, and then where Chase is. So if you can, I think I use a pretty good example of where it should be. So Chase comes around this backside, Sunless plays up here, they come through, you're able to be right here when it's needed. I think I explained it for at least Tusk and DPS for how we should be positioning. Now, Laz, Maddie, and Chu, you guys need to be close enough that you can come into the fight, but far enough back so that you're safe, and also can see your DPS when you go in for something, right? So you got to think of it as like shining a flashlight against the wall. You have your point, actually this kind of makes sense right here. So let's say this is where our backline, so again, Maddie, Chu, and Lazar. This is where the fight is taking place with Tusk. These are where the DPS are, on that corner and in that corner. What we need to be able to try to have is, at least for the most part, everyone, but for mainly to Laz, is you need to be able to see both of these heroes. This isn't just on you to reposition to see both of those heroes. This is also on a DPS to make sure we're in those positions so that our backline can still see us and support us if we need to. Less for Chase and more for Sunless. Or Gek if he's in on Echo Sombra. Laz, you have a tendency, at least when you're on Ana, to not push up when we push up. Let's say we get a pick or two and we need to start pushing forward. You need to adjust yourself along with that. So when you push up, you're pushing up with them. So let's say Tusk is walking forward, you're pushing up. But you're still trying to maintain sight lines of both your DPS, but you're also pushing up so that you can enable them in case something goes wrong. Okay, I think I've covered it in more of a broad state. I'm going to try to do a VOD later this week going through each of the maps and explaining where and how we should be doing this, or how we should be attacking and stuff like that. There are other variables that are going to change how you play. So specifically, I'm thinking for Tusk, Laz, and Sunless. You all, the three of you will, for the most part, be under the most pressure to change depending on the enemy comp, how you play. So let's say they're running something that has a pocket. So let's say Ashe Mercy, Echo Mercy, Kree Mercy, something like that. Sunless, you need to make sure you're playing a bit more passive and trying to take the duel, but making sure you survive it. That's a very broad sense. Laz, for you, it's more for each character which you have to switch to and how you should be playing. Yeah, I don't know. And Tusk, for you, what was it? For you, it's more positioning and where you're supposed to be, and this includes from the start of the fight to mid-fight to end of fight. This comp is high on positioning and CD usage. We need to make sure we're getting that down before this comp really explodes and kind of, in a sense, blossoms into the better comp that we should be running. The best version of the comp. So, okay, so I'm probably going to finish up this map. Might do another one, we'll see. But
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
like I said, or it didn't say, I guess, this is the first time you guys ran this comp, so results are going to vary. I understand that, but I'm still going to explain what we should be doing instead of what we are doing, even though we're still, adjusting and learning to this comp.
That's smart.
Tusk, you want to make sure you're basically hiding for the most part and not getting poked out. Chase, you're way too far out there. You should have been a lot closer, like I said, controlling these lanes. Tusk, you need to stay up there, not drop down. I'm fine with the positioning you guys are at right now. Now that they're rotating this way, we need to be on the opposite side. So I'm hoping at least Sunless is looking for this and scouting. So you guys need to be rotated to the other side. Tusk, if you can, try to leap up here already once they are rotating. So once the enemy team rotates up here, you'll be able to still do that thing with tasing and then jumping up. Okay, so they're not rotating that way. Good pick on the Zen.
And they say Subu.
Okay, Laz shouldn't have died there. Maddie, that's on you as well as Yuchu. Yeah, that Widow is sitting up there way too long. Is Chu dead? Where the fuck is Chu? That's Chu, okay. Okay. So yeah, a lot of mistakes in there. We can kind of go back over it real quick, at least from try to do a quick of each person's POV. So we'll start with Laz. Yeah, this is fine. Way too late on the nade. Okay, you're out for the rest of the fight. Go back and watch Maddie.
That should be better.
Okay, let's go back a little further.
That should be better. Let me patch that up.
Okay, I'm fine with you coming down to this mega. To be fair, I think with what they're running, Laz, I think you should have done the same and rotating down this way. But when Laz isn't down here, you should still be sticking on the stairs. So, Laz, as soon as that Doom dives you, you need to be calling peel, 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 so that the rest of your team starts to come back. Tuss saw that, he came back, but Maddie, as soon as he says that, you need to be making a beeline for him. Shield. Okay, you weren't respecting the sightlines of the Widow. Widow was not getting pressured at all. Yep.
Let me patch that up.
Go back a little bit further. Okay, again, Tusk, you shouldn't have dropped here. Should have been staying up there. Again, we're saving CDs to get out, not go in.
Not good.
So even if you had dropped down here or they forced you out with poke, what you should be doing is walking forward and holding this corner, not just standing here, you know, tasing the air. Good volley from their Zen. Bad bubble, didn't really do much. Just protected you. If you're gonna bubble, walk forward and then put bubble down to separate them from the Zen. If you're gonna jump, again, either taking the high ground or any of the high ground. So either where the Widow is, where this high ground to the right, not just staying over here. You're lucky Laz was in your LOS to pocket you. Good peel from you though, overall. Good eye on the Widow. Yeah, fight's kind of lost at this point. We already have two still coming back, and we just lost our Tracer and our Brig, so... Well, okay, not necessarily. So what should have happened is you probably could have backed up and kind of rotated back to that high ground where you peeled for Laz, and we can try to go for a re-engage here. We have at least, you know, half our team is still mobile heroes that can still go in, and you're close to Primal. You just got to back up, grab a Mega, you get ready to come back in. Once you do, that's when we fully commit. So you die, go back to Chew. Too early on the bubble, Chew, well, too late on the bubble, I guess, but you wouldn't really have known that the Zen was throwing a volley in there. He didn't need bubble in this instance, especially since they just jumped over you. I would wait a little bit, like I said, make sure his armor is chipped out, and then bubble him. Good peel from Agar. Yeah, I think that's it. You're, yeah, kind of unlucky, but that's how it happens. If anything, you just kind of committed a little bit too deep into killing that Zen. For the most part, we want to keep this in the sightlines of our supports. That's the biggest mistake that we made overall as a team, was we weren't paying in the sightline of our Ana or our Brig. Okay, let me rewind more. Okay. Unlucky, but again, like I said at the start, you need to be watching lanes, not coming around this trying to get something cheeky.
Back in the fight.
And they see
Tegan, you're waiting way too long here. You need to keep going, not just staying here waiting around. If anything, you are going to be pushed right here and poking the tanks from this angle. At this angle, you're a little bit more safe. Widow's not in your sight line. Doom is dead, and you'd be able to poke the tanks down a little bit more reliably than just sitting there and just waiting.
Mounting power to forward shield.
Good attempt. Yeah. But again, you sat a little bit too long doing nothing. You could have been rotating. You could have already been where the Widow was, if instead of just trying to touch point, you could have been poking the tanks out from the side. A couple different things you could have been doing better than what you were just standing by the forklift. Okay, switching to sunlight. Okay, Sunless, you should already be in a farming phase here. First 30 seconds, you could either be at the door farming, you could have been at the choke farming. You're just standing here, you're just getting passive alt charge here.
Hey there.
Okay, bad angle on the D.Va to DM her. If anything, you want to do a blind spot or behind her.
Let me punch that.
Good hack. Okay, health packs have already been hacked.
I'm out of here.
Okay.
Feeling much better.
Objective lost. New defense point.
Ahorita regreso.
Objective B.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard. Miss me? Nerf this! Die sterben nicht.
Didn't need to double hack that.
See you later. I might need this later. Being here all alone.
Hack the monkey. Good hack. Good hack. Actually, great hack. Yep, you need to set up for something here. Grab EMP at this point. Good kill on the Zen. Bad grab from us. Good hack. No, make sure we're staggering the D.Va.
Translocating. Beacon in place.
Try to hack the health pack that you're going to be sitting on. Okay, this is where I would go for a hack onto the Zarya. Okay, yeah, you should have been farming a little bit faster than this, or a little bit earlier. Okay, let's rewind because we're about to do an engage. Little late on the bubble. We can't be trying to double up on these bubbles, regardless of what the meta is, the name of the meta. Good pick on the Zarya. Okay, again, you use your CD to go in, not get out. And now they're about to turn the fight because we fed like that. Maybe not. Good bubble.
They see Subu.
Yep, keep hot.
It's time.
Round one.
Obviously, don't see 9.
Pass into the Arbors.
Actually, we'll go back and watch that again. So, we shouldn't be engaging right here. The reason why is because of where our supports are sitting. Engaging up here is going to force them to move out further. Where we need to be engaging is kind of where Chu is right now. So this is giving our supports LOS of all the area, allows our DPS to flank a little bit easier for the most part. So yeah. So when we're engaging right here, not up there. Especially since you have to use your leap cooldown to get in and not out.
That's sports.
Okay, sorry I missed that.
That's sports.
Okay, first Tusk, you got poked out too much. You don't need to be peeking out until we're ready to go. Until we're ready to go, you're just chilling the fuck out right here. You're waiting for somebody to say, okay, they're in position, then we go. Okay, not just getting poked out because you already lost your armor. You're gonna need a bubble just to go in, like as soon as you use your leap or as soon as you are even thinking about going in. You're gonna need a bubble. So again. Use bubble too early. We need to wait for the bubble for the Zarya. Chu has to reposition in order to bubble you. Okay, again, we don't need to go in this fast. This is a little bit more of a slower tempo comp. So we can't just go back in immediately. Yes, you're full health, but we don't have bubble CDs. All it takes is a Discord and a stun for the McCree in order to melt you, which is, I'm assuming, is what's going to happen. Stun, melted, Discord. Dead. Yeah, so honestly, the biggest problem with this fight is where we started the engage and the tempo at which we were playing at. We just went in as soon as we saw an opportunity, and we just went for it. And that's not good. We've already covered the rest of the map, so Brown. So.
Initiating map. Ready for battle.
Interesting.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Smoke them out of there.
See, those are the fast rotations that we need. That kind of quick. Tusk, you used your bubble too early. You're already poked out. You shouldn't even be up there. That should be the rest of the team that should be up here. So, on the attacking side, at least, I guess for the specific scenario, how this should have gone was with giving time for our DPS to set up. Once they're set up and ready, that's when we go, right? So, we'll go ahead and rewind it to where they're originally positioned. Okay, so right now they're playing a 3-3 split. Right now, Zen is the easiest to kill at this point. So how the rotation should go. Tanks, supports, and Zarya should be waiting right here to go in. We need to scout this out first. Once we see where they're at, that's when we make this plan, right? At this point, I would say Tracer flanks around the long way, comes up these stairs. Echo basically can just sit anywhere close enough where she can fly easily and come attack this. If that means you go the same way as the Tracer, that's fine. Again, so supports and Zarya comes up this way. Once DPS are set and ready to dive this, Tusk, you should be around like right here. Once the dive is set, okay, everyone's in position, we're ready, go. Everyone jumps in, Tusk jumps this way. DPS comes around the corner, comes this way. Supports and Zarya move through this hallway, coming to help, right? So that's how that should have gone. Instead, now we rotated. They already start the rotation. Use bubble too early. We drop down. Good. I was just about to suggest you do this. Leap short distance so that you're ready to go in the next time. He should have been healed up. Good trade. Need to make sure this res is denied if they try to go for it. That shouldn't happen. Chase used so many blinks to commit onto that. Good kill, good start.
I'm feeling unstuck.
Yo! No! 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 You dumb motherfucker. No. No. No, no, no. Kill the hog first, then jump in. And hog's gonna get out of the way. Oh, nope, doesn't work. Okay. That was better. Big play from our supports to get the trade-off once Tusk died onto the hog. That was massive, and that's what kind of led this point open.
Objective lost. New defense point. Objective B.
Nope, 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 nope. Walking forward, CD's out. What you should have done, walk up to Agar, start tasing him down, that's when. But I'm glad that we waited for Chase to get into position to do this, at the very least.
circuits engaged.
See, now imagine this attack if we just had walked up instead. You leaped from way too far in order to try to get in deep. That wasn't going to happen. That was a fine play if we would have gotten away with it. But you were too far away in order to make that jump, right? So if you would have just walked up, started tasing Agar, forcing him back, Zarya's right behind you, you have your supports behind you, he starts backing. When Chase was ready, that's when you jump in. You go in, you kill whoever's standing up here. Good bob from them. Chew, you're gonna get low or die if you keep standing there.
Огонь по готовности.
Into the iris.
Maddie, too far forward. Good rock. You're dead. Okay. Thank God we had Nano, because if you would have done that without Nano, you're fucked here. You might even die here still. Thank God for Nano. Went in too deep. You don't go inside like this. No. Yeah, you're dead. Kill.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Went in too deep because you're low.
Torbjorn.
I'm shook you didn't die here. That look that excited. Yo, we farmed another Nano? Fucking hell, lad.
Maximum power.
Yep, we lost this. Good made.
60 seconds remaining.
Огонь по готовности.
Good juggle.
30 seconds remaining.
Alright, that was better.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Tracer. وريهم قوتك. Helden sterben nicht.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay, the rest of this is clean up. What the fuck?
Match.
Son of a bitch.
Ready for battle. Attackers incoming. Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Good pick.
Adjusting angle of attack.
Good bubble shoe.
Defense matrix activated.
Chase, you're being too passive with these hacks. You need to be more aggressive and go on another angle, not just waiting down here to hack someone. Les, where did you die? Okay, target focus was all off on that. Sunless was going after the Widow, Tusky went after the Zen, so Widow should have been priority there.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Okay, match is over. So, again, yeah, this scrim was kind of a shit show, I'm assuming, just judging by those two maps. We just didn't know how to play the comp, and it completely fine, completely fair. We just didn't know how, and I haven't taught you yet. With these basics in mind that I described at the start of Volskaya, we'll definitely be able to transform this into a good comp, not only for this meta in particular, but further down the line. Like, this could genuinely be a strat if you guys get good enough at it that you guys can use almost like your Oasis cheese on Hanamura. That you can just bust out, hey, we're hella good at this comp, let's try it, bust it out, you win a map or two, whatever. So again, this comp does work, we just did not play it well. After explaining how the comp is ran and done, hopefully in the next scrim we'll be able to put it to use and do better at it. Eventually, like, I'm explaining this comp not for the game that's coming up this Friday. I'm explaining it for the playoffs. Because if we nail this comp down, most likely meta's not going to change from now until then, hopefully. And if it does, we'll just have to adjust to it. But for right now, what we're running is fine. We just need to get it down. Don't be discouraged by the results of the scrim. Again, we just got to learn how to play the comp. And once we do, it'll click into place, and it will carry you far if you get this comp down. Again, if you have any questions about your specific role or what you're supposed to do in the comp, please ask me. And if you want a little bit more than just asking me, just ask me if you want to do a VOD review and we can do one. I will explain exactly what you should be doing and what you're doing wrong, and hopefully it helps. So, other than that, good job.